Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the...
Literalist reactions.
I hope you get a kick out of watching it.
I'm not doing it, John. I'm not going to catch you off guard this time.
You're not going to, while I'm playing with my...
You know, in my defense, that wasn't even on purpose. I was trying to warn you. I was trying to be nice this time. That was just luck. That was just pure luck at this point.
Definitely good luck.
Hello, John. This, my friend, is our 100th video.
100? We're 100?
We're 100 videos old.
I don't feel 100.
Well, you look it. So, you look 100 videos beautiful,
Dave,
John.
you smell 100.
That's fair. Did I tell you that today? So, for our 100th video, I thought it'd be kind of fun instead of just watching, insert song of the day here. Why don't we talk about what we've done so far? It's been a lot, and I have to say, like, I was trying to think about it today. I could not name the songs we've done. I can name some of them. There are standouts, there are definitely standouts that stick in my mind. But like if I just tried to sit here and list all 100 or I guess 99 songs we've done, I could not do it.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Well, let me challenge you to a Dave and John trivia competition and a trivia contest here.
Go on.
Name one of the first 4 videos we released, which came out in between April 28th and May 2nd of 2022 this year.
Ooh, that's tough too because like we recorded a bunch before we started the channel, and I don't know the order you released those in. I want to say one of the first videos we did was a Led Zeppelin song.
That is the first video we did.
I knew that was like super beginning, but I couldn't name which one.
Yeah.
Which song was it?
I'm Gonna Crawl.
I'm Gonna Crawl. Yes. I don't think I could name the other ones. I know that Orange Juice Jones was pretty early on.
I think that one's going to end up being 5th or 6th. It wouldn't be in the first 4.
I think that is the standout as the worst song that you've showed me.
In its own way, I think it's charming, but okay.
Worst, like from a just musical perspective, comparative to like these epic Rush songs and Yes songs and all these other, then there's Orange Juice Jones. I did appreciate his rap, and he had a couple fine lines in there when he was angry about his lady off with another man. He had some real choice lines in there, but other than that, I think that is definitely a standout of the early days.
Okay, well, here's some neat stuff. Our very first video, I'm Gonna Crawl, currently, and that is as of this date of September 1st, has 2,464 views and has 42 comments. That was a slow burner because we didn't have a great number. Obviously, we had 0 listeners when we started.
That's not true. I subscribed.
Yeah, okay, and I subscribed.
And my wife
so we started
subscribed.
with 2 subscribers. You and me. But slowly over these past couple of months, we've built that up slowly. And the reason I love that song and love it as our first video is that I've never seen anyone review I'm Gonna Crawl. And I thought it was a great burning slow blues jam, It was an awesome song. But that's what we like to do. We try and just... Yeah, well, sometimes we hit the surface, right? Like any dolphin, you got to breathe. Like any whale, you got to come up for air once in a while, right?
You really like these mammal references.
I am one.
Fair enough.
So you got to come up for air, and every once in a while we come up for air and we hit the hittier of the hits. But I prefer to just get just a little below the surface, and I think there's got to be a lot of people out there that appreciate that.
I remember with that Led Zeppelin song being blown away because I did not think Led Zeppelin would play the blues.
Oh, which is hilarious because that's kind of their beginning.
And I didn't know that for sure. Like I had heard of the song or the band, obviously, but no idea they did the blues.
Yeah, you just associated them with hard rock or heavy metal, maybe, and didn't really know much about them, right? And that was one of the whole points of our channel, one of the whole points of our time together. Really, is just me saying, look at how much you've missed while you were in that cave with your family,
or foreign countries,
or foreign country.
But they had music over there. It was the cave of the family.
Yeah, right, exactly. So wherever you moved, you brought your cave with you, is all I'm saying. You know, whether you were in Hawaii or Japan, you guys, like, they had, what would it take, a 141 or something like that to bring your
Yeah,
cave?
I think we flew on C-130s was the most
130s,
common plane
Yeah.
that we probably flew on, but we're
You know,
C-5s a lot.
with a cave strapped to it underneath, you know.
Actually, the cave is above. If you fly in a military plane like a C-5, then you walk out on the tarmac and then you walk up the ramp like that they would, drive a tank up or whatever, and then you
Right.
climb a metal ladder. And the seating area is on the top of the plane. And if it's a C-5, the seats are very comfortable. If it's a C-130, then it depends on the layout, but oftentimes they were like netting. And so it was just like a long bench netting sitting there. And they would hand you those yellow earplugs as you got in the plane because they're not soundproofed. Like you
at
fly in
all.
an airliner and it's these nice thick walls and they dampen a ton of the sound from the engines and all that. Not military planes. They hand you earplugs. Good luck. You scream at
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, you're basically 1 inch from outside.
The best part of a military plane is the bathroom because it's just a toilet with a curtain that goes around the toilet, depending on which plane you're on.
Wow.
That was
what I
always a
call
joy.
Privacy.
One of my favorite experiences too is when we got on a plane and then the flight crew was like, "Hey guys, actually a whole bunch of dudes showed up that are active duty, so we don't have room for you." And then we got off that plane, and you know what you could do about that? Nothing. You can get off the plane. That's what you can do about it.
That's it. That's all you can do.
And you know what? It's free, so you don't complain. You just wait for the next airplane going where you're going, and sometimes that takes days.
Right. Wow. Neat.
So I didn't listen to a lot of music, but I did have an interesting time. That's for sure.
That is for sure. But we're trying to, bring music around and make it a part of your life here in a different way, stuff you missed. And, as I've heard other people who are exposed to bands, like Yes and Rush and Jethro Tull, I've actually seen a guy call his mother and say, "You were a musician. Why didn't you tell me about this when I was growing up?"
Oh, that's funny.
So that's what I've been trying to do. Our first 4 videos, they were "I'm Gonna Crawl," then "Locomotive Breath" by Jethro Tull,
Oh, yeah.
and then we hit what I thought would be a great song to hit because nobody seemed to really be focusing any attention on it. The song called "Driver's Seat" by a band called Sniff and the Tears.
I will say, I remember you bringing that up to me just because I couldn't get over the fact there's a band called Sniff and the Tears.
Exactly, and that song I just think is a great song. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here, oh no, that's Stuck in the
No,
Middle.
that's Stuck in the Middle with you.
Stuck in the Middle. Driver's Seat was the guy who's like driving down a road and he's thinking about the girl. Yeah. So yes, so I thought it was a great song. It is a great song. But to date, we've only got 330 views on it.
Yeah, and half of them are me, so
Yeah.
I just play it on a loop. That's all I do. It's the only
So that
song.
was our first clinker, as it were. Because all the other ones on those first 4 are over 2,400. The Jethro Tull has nearly 3,000 views. So I mean, people are definitely keying in on some of the music, and we've kind of learned as we've been going along. Dave, recently somebody commented and requested a song on one of our one of our comments of our videos, and it made me want to clarify when you are suggesting a song. Here's the basic criteria. And can you fill some time while I relocate this?
What do you relocate? Oh, are you trying to find the thing?
Yeah, my post. I already found it. There you go. So here's what I would say is my criteria for the songs that I introduced to you.
I don't even know what the criteria is. Go on.
It's important to me. Number 1, virtuoso musicianship, performing at an impressive level.
Okay, yeah. I mean, predominantly that has been what it is. There
Yeah.
were the few outliers, Orange Juice Jones looking at
well,
you.
Well,
But-
hold on. We're not done yet. That's only one of the 3 main categories. There's 3 different categories of song.
This is fancier. This is too fancy for me.
The second category are songs with lyrics that are akin to fine literature, that challenge ideas or spark curiosity.
So Orange Juice Jones back on the list, actually.
Back on the list, right there. Yes. So the rain, don't forget the rain. And the third criteria is songs I like. basically.
You know what? That's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
this entire thing began because literally you and I would sit around anyway and you would play me songs you liked. Like, that is
Yeah.
literally the foundation of this channel.
That's it.
So, yeah, that makes sense as the final ultimate criteria.
Right.
I have a question for you, actually. So, of all of the suggestions we've gotten, have you been introduced to something that you didn't really know about that you've really enjoyed?
I would say yes. Going back to the list, for one thing, I had mentioned already when we did Marillion that I was quasi familiar with Marillion, but I never really took the time to completely give it my full attention. And so when we did that Marillion song, it certainly grabbed my attention. That's just one example, and I'm certain there are others. But if I look at the request list as it stands, and just to let you know how many songs are on it, there are currently 354 songs on the request list.
So we would have to do 3.5 times as many videos as we've done currently just to get through our current requests.
To get through the current requests. Now, many of those are have only received the one vote. The initial person requesting it has voted, and no other single human has said, "Hey, yeah, I want to hear that song." So that's where I came up with the concept, and I won't give the number because then it'd be easy to stack the shelves a little bit there with your votes. But there's a magical number, and when a song reaches that magical number, it makes it to our preliminary list, which we then choose from as we're actually recording these videos. So that's the process. So if you for example, somebody requested, and this is a great song, "Cheap Sunglasses" by ZZ Top.
I have heard that song.
And I figured you'd heard that song, but it went on the list. But to date, it's only got one vote. So that's a little ways off from ever making it to the channel. And even if it does make it to the channel, I think that we could excuse it because you do know the song. But just like Hook, you probably know the hook, but you might not know the rest of the song, and you've probably never given it full attention.
No, it's one of those things that I know has come on. Like if I'm out, I like going to trivia night and playing trivia, and I know it's been like a musical bonus before that I've gotten wrong, and but I've never really fully paid attention to it.
Okay, there you go. So, I mean, there is a process by which we do this, and so folks who are recommending songs, that's the process. I mean, you heard the 3 different categories and the process when we get recommendations. And that's it.
I like how I just learned a bunch about how this channel works.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't pay attention to any of that stuff.
You know, I felt like we were starting a new country, and we have to come up with some rules.
Okay, and there's also adult swim time at the pool. It's just a rule that I want for the country.
For the whole country? Yeah.
The whole it's as a child, hated it. As an adult, greatest 15 minutes of pool time is adult swim.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
or like when you're at the roller rink, as I know you've been to dozens of times in your life, Dave. When you're at the roller rink, and they say that this song is for experienced skaters only.
Oh yeah, I leave the floor.
I go play pinball. We've talked about that. I am a horrible skater. I'm a skater. You know what? Somehow I make the oval more of a square.
Is it because you just go wall to wall, like you hit this wall and you hit that wall?
I almost go wall to wall. It's like I'm going along, and then I put out a skate sideways, and I do like a 90-degree turn, and then I continue along until and I fell a lot with that process. I don't recommend it. It's like when I first learned how to ride a bike. The bike that I was given was for a kid like about 1.5 feet taller than me. So since it was a male person's bike, it had that bar in the middle, which means that at my height, even resting my precious gems on that bar, my feet didn't touch the ground.
Ugh.
So I learned to stop the bike one of 2 ways. The first way I learned was to stop it near a fence, hit the brakes real hard, stop, grab the fence, climb off the bike.
Fair enough. All right. What was the other way?
When I got bolder, I would swing one of my legs over to the other side, hit the brakes, lean it down, and jump off.
That's how I get off of a bike, but I spent a lot of time on bikes. See, not roller skates and rollerblades, really. Like I was a biker. I always had a bike.
Yeah, me too. That's why I was horrible at roller skating. And ice skating, tried it once, hated it, don't want to ever do it again. I was convinced to try it again last year at an ice skating rink. and within 20 minutes, the pain
In
in
your
my
knees?
ankle,
Ankle. For me, it's knees.
I could not stand. I was literally crying. I was halfway around the rink when I gave up, and I had to finish the half circle. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, it was horrible, horrible pain. Couldn't wait to get those things off.
Yeah, my feet point out. And so for me, skating or any of that stuff, when you have to force your feet to point straight, that's not the way that my legs are. So it creates a lot of pain in my knees and hips.
That's from all those years on the rack, I think is.
It's actually because I was born super bow-legged with my toes touching like this, and for the first couple years of my life,
You had a brace, right? A foot brace?
yeah, they once a week or something like that, they would put plaster casts on my legs to slowly straighten my feet, and I guess they went a little too far. So,
Wow.
but you know what? I can
My
walk, I can run, I can do whatever. So,
had baby shoes when she was first learning to walk. Her baby shoes had a bar between them.
oh, interesting. Like braces for your feet.
Yeah. I don't know if that sounds like torture to me, but maybe they stopped that process, that practice. I don't know. But boy, are we off topic now. What is the topic? The topic is us, Dave.
So, anyways, scoliosis.
Yeah. Skull. I see what you did there. What are you from, Minneapolis?
Maybe. But it's been neat to get introduced to so many different songs. I think some of the biggest standouts to me have definitely been some of the Rush songs, musically and lyrically. That has been incredible to look at, and I think I also am very on board philosophically with a lot of Rush lyrics. So I think that is cool that that really resonates with me a lot. And I, of course, never knew this stuff existed. So those have been definite standouts. I have loved getting to hear more of the Crypt Keeper and Mr. Psychedelic Cape. So yes is huge on my list now. I really like it. Their lyrics are far more poetic.
Ethereal and poetic.
Yeah, and so they're a lot of fun to try to parse, to try to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah. My favorite song we've done lyrically has been YYZ,
Oh, okay.
the instrumental.
Yeah, I was gonna say, interesting take. First of all, YYZ, and second of all,
And Neil Peart. I know. Peart.
so what did those lyrics say to you, John? Did they say, "Man,
say-
this is a fun concert"?
It really is code to me for why do Canadians call it Zed? YYZ. I mean, it just makes perfect sense to you.
I don't know. I think originally it probably was Zed, right?
Details, Dave. Details. We're Americans. We do what we want. So, hey,
And we do it poorly.
somebody caught my mention. That's me on the harmonica on the hook video.
Oh, that's me on the harmonica, eh?
That's me on the harmonica. Eh? Somebody caught that. Isn't that
Really?
amazing? Yes.
What'd they say?
And they well, let me open it up and read it to you verbatim because I don't want to make a mistake here.
That was an old SNL sketch you were quoting.
Not SNL.
Well, not SNL. It was
Well,
wasn't it some of the
it
guys
was,
from SNL?
Yes, I think
I thought it was SNL.
it was Second City originally, but you're right. It may have been SNL. It may have been, but it was Second City originally. But let's see here, John. If you're going to quote some of my favorite Canadians, harmonica solo, it should be done in the appropriate context, i.e., during a Rush reaction.
Because they're Canadian. Yeah. That
Actually,
makes
it's
a lot of
from the
sense.
song "Take Off to the Great White North" by Bob and Doug McKenzie, and
yeah.
Geddy Lee was the guest vocalist on that song. Do you remember that song?
You showed that song. This is not an on-channel thing. Years ago, you showed me that, and I've always remembered the reference.
Take off to the great white north. Take off. Yeah, good stuff. Well, Dave, 100 episodes. This is our 100th episode, man. This is actually pretty cool. We do 5 a week minimum, occasionally 6.
Yeah, sometimes I find fun things and I introduce you to them, and that's always a joy to see your reaction to the weirdness that I listen to when you're not around.
Yeah. And we usually drop those on Saturday because Saturday's a fun day. This week we did 6 because we happened to do 2 Rush songs in one day. One was released on schedule, and 2112 was dropped in because we finally got to the point where we could sit with each other for 20 straight minutes, or as it turned out, 45 straight minutes. And
Yeah. I
Watch
was
that.
laughing when that video ended. I was like, John, I don't think you know how long this video is.
Yeah.
But it was
And
worth it. Absolutely
we're
worth it.
we're still going to release, maybe as our 100, what do you think, as our 101st video, release the second viewing of The Rush, or maybe just release it the same day as this one, the 100th.
You know what? Yeah, let's do that. With this video, will come out actually. So when we did 2112, that video finished, and I mean, it was a blast. That song. Go watch the reaction video if you want to know what I think of that song. But when it ended, I was like, John, I want to listen to that song again, but I don't want to have to. I don't want to pause and talk about it, and like have to do all that. I just want to immerse myself in it and enjoy it. And so we actually recorded another video, and it's barely longer than the song itself. And we just listened to the song. So it's not going to be exciting. Go watch it if you want. It's just going to be listening to it with us, because that's all it was. And I have to say the second listen was fantastic. Not that the first one wasn't, but the second one absolutely was. So totally worth it. Yeah, we'll put that video out with this one. That like is the core of why this all started in the first place. Is John and I just sitting around, and we would listen to a song together that he would introduce me to, and then we'd talk about it. I would usually try to figure out what the lyrics meant, because I always enjoy doing that. So like this channel is literally nothing more but an outgrowth of what we were doing in our free time as friends anyway.
Yeah, and that was well over 10 years ago, and your musical knowledge has bloomed and gone its own direction, which is why you have music. Like at the time, anything you had heard, I'd probably heard.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Since then, you've kind of went off in your own direction, which is a unique direction because you're a unique individual to begin with.
I'm a weird kid.
You are not weird. Weird is relative. Okay?
Fair enough.
You're definitely an individualist. You've said it in a recent video. You don't care what people think, and that's awesome. I love that about you. I wish I had a little bit more of that. I do care a little bit about what people think of me. Too much. And so
I think a part of it was my upbringing. You can go a lot of different ways with how you're raised, and for some reason, I went the way of, wow, I guess I just don't really care what anyone thinks. So yeah, that's how I landed in life, for many reasons that I will not go into. But yeah, it makes my life extra interesting. That's for sure. It makes my wife's life extra interesting, especially when we're in public. I'll tell you a story. So a couple weeks ago, I decided to check out a mall that's a couple hours away from here. We were like doing a bunch of other stuff as well. So we ended up hitting the mall. Candy wanted to buy some stuff. So she's in there doing her thing, and I'm like wandering around. I found this big fountain, and there's this kid, 4 or 5 years old, and he's hanging out the fountain. So I sit next to the fountain, and there's just all this change in the fountain, of course. And I was like, oh man. And I look over, and there was a gumball machine. I was like, I cannot remember the last time I had a gumball. So I reached my hand in the fountain, and I took a quarter out, and then I walked over and got myself a gumball. Now, here's the thing. This child watches this happen, and then assumes, I guess that's free money. and so Candy walks out to me chewing on a gumball, watching this 5-year-old get screamed at by his parents because he like went head first into the fountain to try to dig change out.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he was fine. No one was hurt. Like, everything's fine. And I'm just cracking up. And Candy is like not happy with me or my actions. And I'm not saying she was wrong. But like, that's who I am. I just don't think about it. Like, sometimes I just think I'm a creature of pure impulse. Like, if I can just feel like doing something and I know it won't actively harm someone else, then I just do it. So I just do it. Anyway,
note to self: we have to add 3 coins to the fountain to the song list. So
is that a song?
Yeah. It's a very old song, and I don't even know if I really want to expose you to that, but maybe I'll find a good version of that.
Yeah. Either way, I don't know. Just stop caring so much what other people think about you.
Yeah.
Be a creature of pure impulse. Do things because you feel like doing them, as long as you know that it's not going to actively harm another person.
Wasn't there a movie about that? Like a guy that wasn't able to say no?
It was called Yes Man.
Yes Man, yes.
Yeah, but I also love saying no, so that's not Also say no if you don't want to do a thing. I am a huge proponent of no. No is amazing. Number one place to use no, your job. Disney? What is happening right now?
We've been picked up by Disney Channel, Dave. No, it's not. Not
Good.
at all. This is Three Coins in a Fountain by Frank Sinatra.
Oh, well, I can't wait to get a copyright strike on that one randomly.
Oh, I better stop it.
I have heard a lot of Frank Sinatra. I really like Frank Sinatra. I don't know if I've heard that song, though.
Yeah. Well, you could say you've heard a lot of Frank Sinatra, but this guy was pumping out albums like he was pumping gas. I'm telling you, this guy.
Fair enough.
Like he would walk in, what am I singing? Okay, ba 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 ba. Okay, next song, good. But I mean, they were knocking out albums by Sinatra like crazy. Hey, speaking of copyright strikes,
Go on.
Let's go into this a little bit. Like we've had several people, and I've had to delete a few comments because some people are just mean. We've seen, especially on the internet, they have
That's
that license.
sad.
To be mean.
Like
And-
you have nothing better to do but just be mean to strangers on the internet. What
Yes.
a weird life you lead.
we were accused of stealing the songs that we play from the people, robbing them of thousands of dollars, and it was their creative license. Now, let's get one thing straight. First of all, the overwhelming majority of the songs that we play, we get absolutely nothing for. We are prevented from any, even though we have put creativity in and around it in creating our videos, we get nothing. We get scratch. We get zilch. Okay, and the ones that they do listen to our dispute about having some copyrights and making a little bit of coin off of this to at least offset our expenses. No way it's paying for my time. I mean, I'm nearly 60 years old. I own a business. And what I perceive to be my hourly rate will never be touched by what we earn from this channel.
What the government perceives to be the lowest possible average rate anyone should get paid will never be touched by this channel.
And that is the truth. So here's the fact. As of this date, first of all, you have to jump through an amazing number of hoops to even get to the point where you can apply to receive any money for ad revenue. So we did that. So we started making ad revenue in August. And to date, Dave, drum roll, we have made $16.52.
Man, I could afford that gumball, John. I didn't even need the fountain.
I'll send you half of that in gumballs, Dave.
It wasn't even a good gumball, but I digress. Turns out
probably
gumballs
old.
aren't good.
Well, they're not good because nobody buys them. They sit there for 30 years, and then some sucker grabs a coin out of the fountain. 3 coins in the fountain. There you go. So
But-
that's the channel. That's where we're at, Dave. What do you think? I mean,
I don't even know what to do with my newfound wealth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous, John. You know, I'm at $8 and change here.
yes.
Which is just
Wait a minute.
incredible.
Wait a minute. That's pre-tax.
Oh, that's right.
So it's really $5.
I'm at like $5, John.
Yeah, you're about $5.
I've now almost covered half the cost of the cord I had to buy.
Almost, but not quite.
No, but I think at the end of the day, that's why I've said it. I think I've said this on other videos. Like, we'll do this as long as it's fun. And it's fun. You know, I get to sit and hang out with John and listen to music. And a ton of you have now suggested music that I've gotten to hear. And even John's gotten introduced to music too. So, you know, the community is a lot of fun. It's sad that there are some trolls on the internet, but I don't care what people in person think of me. So you can imagine what I think of people on the internet.
Anonymous people.
Yeah, randomly typing
Yeah.
angry comments.
Yeah. Type and run.
I think I found an angry comment from someone and I just responded sarcastically because in real life it just made me laugh. Because I cannot fathom going on the internet with the express purpose of being angry at someone else's opinion on a subject that doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, music is great. I'm enjoying this thoroughly, but it doesn't matter. Like, my opinion doesn't matter. And if it's different than yours, okay. That's like, I don't like mushrooms either.
And I love mushrooms. You're an idiot.
It has about the same weight as that.
Yeah.
Then listen to something else. It's just so weird to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's our current life, Dave. That's our current life. And yes, I will remain anonymous. That's another question we get every once in a while. And people, there's a couple of hints of a certain level of fame. People have asked if I was, and they name famous people. I've had to, of course, decline all that. Now, that to
Nope.
say, I said, you know what? I mean, one could say I have achieved a certain amount of very small regional notoriety where I'm at.
Yeah,
You could
at
say
at
that.
best you could say that, and that
Yeah.
is a mild stretch. But yeah, that's probably about the best you could say.
I mean, there was a point where I was about 7 or 8 years ago walking through a state fair and with my family, and I remember one of my kids saying, "Does everybody know you?" You know, because
Well,
so many people stopped to say, "Hey, John! Hey, John! Hey, John Doe! Hey, John Doe!"
I think it's
As
because
they
you and
do.
I are both very gregarious people
Enigmatic.
that talk to people in public. So like
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends because I just talk to people. I will sit at a bar and strike up a conversation and then just
Sure.
have more friends now. So,
I do that all the time, and I
yeah.
will talk music until I'm blue. I will talk music until they close the bar, and then hang out in the parking lot and talk some more.
I don't have enough to say about music to keep that up.
Oh, well, you can pretend.
Well, Johnny boy,
Yeah.
we're hitting 31 minutes here. We've played zero music.
I'm jonesing.
Jonesing for some tunesins. All
I
right,
think that we're going to
we're
post 2112, and we're both going to listen to it again.
yeah, that is probably what's about to happen. Thank you so much for all of you who listen to our videos. Watch our videos. I guess
Watch
this
our
is
videos.
this is a visual and audio medium.
Wow.
Thank you for being a part of the community, for suggesting songs. This, like I said, is just a ton of fun, and this is really just the two of us hanging out and chatting. And if we make enough money to cover some expenses, dope. But if we don't,
Yep.
I mean, we do this for fun.
Right.
So
When it's not fun, we won't be doing it, like Dave says.
So thank you so much. Keep the suggestions flowing in, and anything you think is super weird and unique or would just maybe hurt John's ears, suggest it. Because the thing is, he has to like listen to things and vet them, and that makes me laugh. That makes my life better when he's like, I listened to the worst song.
And I did today.
It brings me joy. It sparks joy, John. Your misery sparks joy. Why does it hurt when I pee?